Hello everyone, Automew, the Violet Wizard here, and today we are hopefully going to be ramping up the main pathway of Super Mario World, provided that our connection this time is able to remain stable. And I don't know what all these problems have been, because the first session of this has been really good, and everything after that has just been kind of iffy. But yeah, hopefully we're able to have a good performance here as we are wrapping up the Valley of Bowser, the final main world of the game. So you can no doubt tell just from looking at it, it's a pretty short area, all things considered, but the levels here do ramp up the difficulty in quite a big way. And we're not going to be able to fully see everything there is in this area, but it'll be nice just to get through these last couple of levels as we make our way to Bowser's Castle, and hopefully clear the main routes, because I'm very much looking to dive into all these secrets all throughout this game. But for now, let's get started on our next level here, Valley of Bowser Free, which we got from clearing the Ghost House. Yeah, this level I definitely remember a lot. It's going to be pretty interesting. We got this cavern area with all these daikon radishes again. This time we got some interesting platforms. So the platforms have numbers on them that tell you just how long these platforms will be staying in the air. Once they reach 0, they will be running out, and you won't be able to ride on them anymore. So I want to try to get those dragon coins there. It'd be nice to get a couple extra levels before the end here. If we can get a good supply of 1-ups, we should be pretty good for tackling the last couple of trials ahead of us, because the next few levels after this one are going to be pretty tough. Yeah, I distinctly remember from all my previous playthroughs of the game that these levels are definitely pretty challenging. Alright, we're able to grab that. Got some more bonsai bills here. Haven't seen those in a while. Whoa! Wow, that was something. Alright, that's our last dragon coin. Let's jump off you to get here. Grab the 1-up, and we should be good. Yeah, but it's not a bad level, all things considered. The platforms do make things a little tricky, but if you're able to time when the platforms begin to fall, you'll easily be able to handle that. So now we got the last normal level of the game here, Valley of Bowser 4. As you can see, there's an alternate pathway here, and of all the levels that have alternate pathways, this one is definitely one of the trickiest in order to get the secret exit. So we got some charging chucks that have shovels. It's kind of interesting. Shoveling's not really a sport, unless you're playing Shovel Knight. We've got a pipe here we could go down. I think this is just to get a power-up. Alright, this is a good one. I always like the cape feather. It's very good. And that brings us back over here. Ow, that was a very poor judgment. Yeah, that pipe is just if you want to try to get the cape feather here. But yeah, this level is very tricky. So not only to got these guys with the shovels, you want to avoid hitting the boulders because they can hurt. Can we go down this pipe, actually? So I would much prefer being able to go down that one. No? Okay. So I have to just keep moving. Alright, why not even go back down here? So probably not going to get a feather here. No. I doubt that we're going to be able to come back up from there. No. Yes, that was kind of a waste of time. I mean, I like being big so that I don't have to worry about getting hit by something that will kill me, but at the same time, it's just... I don't know, I could go back down the pipe, actually, to try to get the feather, I believe. Yeah, we can. Though I really want to be careful here, because we don't have a lot of time to spend in this level. Yeah, this one is pretty tricky. In order to get all the way through, you need a... Wow, how did I pull that off? But yeah, if you're looking to get the secret exit in this area, there are some steps you need to take to get through here. So we get Yoshi around to this point into the level, but what is interesting about this is that in order to get to the secret exit, we need to carry Yoshi pretty much all throughout this stage. Is that crucial to getting to the secret exit? So I'm probably not going to grab the secret exit this run unless I'm very good at keeping Yoshi with us. There's a power-up we could have gone there if we had the yellow switch, which I don't have yet. But yeah, if you're able to take Yoshi all the way to the end, that gets you the secret exit, as you can only obtain the key if you have Yoshi with you, which is very tricky to do, believe it or not. Wow. We actually did it. You know, we still got plenty of time this level. I'll at least show off a reward for getting this secret exit. By doing that, we open up a pathway straight to the front door of Bowser's castle, which I'm obviously not taking, but it also opens up the Star Road. This is something we'll be seeing a bit later on through my playthrough of this game, but Star World is pretty interesting. Opens up a lot of alternate pathways that can not only lead you to different sections of the game, but also lead to exclusive levels that you'll definitely want to beat in order to get all the goodies there. But with that said, we have some unfinished business in the Valley of Bowser. Let's go take on the last of the trials here so that we can get to the 7th castle. It's actually very nice that Yoshi's able to eat the boulders that those guys shoot out. Sadly, we're gonna have to ditch Yoshi here, but that's okay. Camera? There we go. So don't believe we're gonna get another Yoshi from this. No, just a 1-up. Wanna be careful going down here. There. But yeah, this is certainly an interesting final level, all things considered, of everything we have been through. It's definitely pretty tricky to deal with. I really don't like losing my cape there. You are able to spin jump off the boulders. So we have that going for us, but besides that, there's not too much you're able to do with them. Alright, what are we gonna do here? If we can jump off this Koopa, we should be good! No! The things I do to try to have a standard run of this game. Alright, we spawn back here, which is nice. Let's get past you. Whoa. Yeah, I definitely want to concentrate here. Whoa. Okay. That was a little... Eat. Take that. Yeah, I want to take you out, buddy. Alright. Probably gonna limit my commentary right here, because this is very tricky to do. Oh man, that jump is almost impossible if you don't have the cape feather to slow your fall. So if you don't have that, then you have to time your jump off of the... Whew, time your jump off of the Koopa in order to get onto that platform. So I know I can do this, it's just going to be tricky. Come on, buddy. Alright, we'll jump there. There we go. Whoa! Ah! It's always that one guy up there that really gets me. Definitely adds to the challenge here. But yeah, it has definitely been something getting to play through this game again since we are coming to the end. I guess I could talk a bit more about my thoughts on this project we have been doing. Yeah, just overall, despite the technical hiccups I have experienced, overall this has been a very fun project to do. Ugh. It's a good thing I have so many 1-ups right now. And yeah, just been very fun getting to show off this game that is very dear to my childhood, one that I really like playing through. And especially with the certain steps I've been taking in this run, where I encourage myself to take a lot of different steps than I would usually take with this game. Because this is definitely one of those games where I try to do as much content in a single run as I can. So I'd be taking a lot of the secret pathways, doing all those levels, getting, I'd be getting all the Switch Palaces on my way through the game. But no, just doing all of this in this short challenge that I've been doing is, very exhilarating. Alright, we got a 30 right before the end. That's good because that is the last of the main gateways. So we get one last bonus before we head into the castle. Do I want to grab some power-ups before I go into this castle is the question. Can we get it good? I'm trying to think of the blocks I want to hit here. It's not going to be very good. Alright, we got a 1-up. I guess that's fine. Boy, that level was very exhausting. It only took us like 10 minutes to go over everything we could do there. But yeah, that is one of the trickier levels of the game done. Time to head off to Castle 7, Larry's Castle. Yeah, of course that they had to save the quote-unquote best for last. Funny enough, Larry is the first of the Koopalings you fight in Super Mario Bros. 3, and in this game, he's the last one you fight. He's also canonically the youngest, which I find is an interesting distinction. But yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the hardest levels we have seen thus far. We have the return of the snake blocks, which we saw back in Roy's Castle. We get a lot of ball and chains, and it's just an area that is very tricky to get through. Probably not going to try to grab as many dragon coins as I can here compared to some other levels, just because of the added challenge of having to try to grab them all while you're going through the level, but this area can be a bit tricky to deal with. In order to get through here, we need to take our snake block all the way past these hazards, which can be a little tricky to deal with, as these snake blocks tend to lead to some very unorthodox pathways, often leading you into a lot of hazards. And especially tricky because I don't have any power-ups right now. And I'm pretty sure that this level in particular is very light on the power-ups it gives you. So we may just be going in here as our small form for the time being. Right, now for this corridor. We got a lot of trouble here. We have the return of the Magic Koopas we saw back in Lemmy's Castle. Got a lot of dry bones here as well. And if we're gonna get through here, we need to rely on the Magic Koopas in order to break blocks. So yeah, remember what I said about this being a tricky level? So we got a lot of factors to deal with in terms of getting through here. So I really need the Magic Koopa to spawn back in. Hit the blocks, please. Whoa, careful, whoa! Yeah, this level is really tricky to deal with. Buddy, need you to hit a block, please. Ow. Okay, I don't think we need to rely on Magic Koopa again, so we should be good to get through here. It's got more of these pillars and potaboos. It's a very tricky area. Whoa. Okay, if we had the green Switch Pass, if we did that, we would have gone and power up here, but let's go straight into the boss. Larry's pretty much a repeat of the battle against Iggy. Only this time we have potaboos shooting up, but we're able to take him out pretty much the same way we took out Iggy. Just jump on him or throw fireballs on him, and you are good. Pretty simple fight, all things considered, even with the added fireballs. Alright, now this animation's great. He yeeted a whole castle. Mario's defeated Larry Koopa in castle number 7. All that's left is Bowser's castle, where Princess Toadstool's being held. Can Mario rescue her and restore peace to Dinosaur Land? Only one way to find out. Definitely want to say before this, because we have finally reached the end of the road. Once we enter the front door, we'll be heading into the final level of the main game, Bowser's Castle. Seeing as how much time we have in the stream right now, I think we will have a pretty good time clearing this, and then we can get started on some of the bonus content that we haven't shown off yet. So with that said, let's dive into the front door. Bowser's Castle. As you would expect, like the previous castles, you cannot take Yoshi in. So we're just going in with whatever powers we have. We have quite a few doors that we're able to go through here. We have door 1, door 2, door 3, and door 4. So for our run here, each door will have a different challenge for us as we make our way through the level. Let's start with door 1 and see how this is. So we have a repeat of this one room we saw back in Iggy's castle. And yeah, I just totally whiffed that. You can see there that area is definitely a lot easier if you have the... if you hit the switch palaces and been really good about doing those, you'll have an easy time of going through here. If not, this will be a tricky area to do. So I want to try to get a bit farther into here before the end. Okay, that is like really tight. I'm not sure if we're actually going to be able to do this one. So let's try one of the other doors. Yeah, that one is really tricky if you don't have the switch palaces. So let's do door number 2. Alright, we got ourselves a area with the fences that we have seen all throughout the game. So this shouldn't be too bad to do. There's all these Koopas on the wrong side of the fence. Alright. Now once you've cleared one of the 4 doors, you move on to this area with doors 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just like last time, let us start off with the first door we see here, which is door number 5. So I don't know if I'm going to be showing off every possible challenge here. Of course we get this one. So we got more of these pillars that we saw back in Wendy O's castle, as well as some thwomps. Just gotta run through here, and obviously I wasn't that equipped for that one. It's okay. So one of the big things about this area, if you aren't able to clear 2 of the rooms, then you have to start over right from the beginning. It's one of the main challenges of Bowser's Castle here. Let's start on door 3 this time. So we got an area where we have these, so we got these tapestries that are kind of blocking our progress here, and we got some new enemies. These are Mecha Koopas. They're pretty much just mechanical Koopas. There's no real way you can really damage them other than just stepping on them to stun them. They're an interesting hazard to deal with, but nothing we haven't seen before. Alright, so now we're in door 6 here, which is an underwater section. A lot of tricky enemies. And some interesting hazards here. Got these spikes that we've obviously seen before. And we have some new faces here, actually. These are fish bones. They are pretty much just fish enemies that are skeletal. There's no real way you're able to damage them, at least without a cape, I believe. So we're just going to leave them alone and just try to navigate through this area. We got some ball and chains now. So make this a tricky area to get through. Alright, if we hang out here, we should be fine. Just need to wait for these spikes to retract. Okay, we should be good here. Alright, and now that we have reached the end of this pathway, through that pipe, we're now in a dark room. Go over here, hit that block, and it shines a disco ball, allowing us to see what is before us. And we got some new enemies here, Ninjas. It's the only area in the game where the Ninjas appear, they'll just jump up and down and try to halt you. It's kind of interesting that they appear here, since they're one of the few Mario 2 enemies that can actually be in this game. But we have finally reached the door at the end of this pathway. It's time for the final battle. Now, when I was a kid, just getting to this point was really exhilarating, especially with the presentation here. Bowser, King of the Koopas, is our final opponent. He's riding around in the Koopa Clown Car, which is an interesting thing, especially with that particular acronym. He will shoot out some of the Mecha Koopas we saw before. You just need to pick them up and throw them back at him to damage him. Ooh, that's an effect that would really unnerve me as a kid. Just the Koopa Clown Car getting close to the screen like that. As after that, he'll drop some fireballs. Help! Don't worry, Toadstool, we'll get you. Yeah, just avoid the fireballs and you should be good there. Princess Peach will always throw a mushroom for you in order to power you up. And this phase, Bowser will start to drop these giant metal balls on you. It's going to be a little tricky to deal with. Also, the flight pattern of the clown car changes with each phase. Before, it would move in like a semicircle. Oh, but now it has actually started to follow us, which makes this section of the battle a bit trickier, as we need to more carefully position ourselves in order to attack. Just wait for him to drop more of those Mecha Koopas and we should be good. So spin jumping on the metal ball is also a good way to get past it, since it won't be able to damage you that way. But otherwise, touching that thing will hurt you. Yeah, this battle is just freaking great. I just love the atmosphere of it, how you have the thunder booming in the background. If we can keep this Mecha Koopa, that can actually speed things up for us later in the fight. Just hit this guy and he'll stay stunned. Help! Thanks, Peach. And for the final phase, Bowser will start stomping the ground of the castle with the clown car. You do not want to get crushed because that will hurt. Alright, he's throwing more Mecha Koopas. One more hit should do it. There we go! It takes 6 hits in total to deal with Bowser. And the big lug is sent flying. Ooh, princess! Mario's adventure is over. Mario, the princess, Yoshi, and his friends are going to take a vacation. We get some nice fireworks after everything. It's like the last one is in the shape of a heart. It's a nice little touch. And that was Super Mario World. Or at least the main path through the game. What can I say about this that I haven't said before? It's just a very solid game. This was released as one of the first games on the Super Nintendo, and I feel like it was a great step for the franchise after the NES days. It was just so good what they were able to accomplish with a lot of new gameplay mechanics, the improved graphics leading to a lot of more rich and colorful environments. Obviously led to a lot of good animation, so on a technical level, it's just a great improvement over the older games. Now, with time, this game has aged a little bit, but overall I still find it very fun, very easy to pick up and play through. And, yeah, it's still aged remarkably well. Just visually, from the music, the graphics, and the base gameplay still very good. And the fact that you're able to go for this game with all the different pathways makes it endlessly replayable and gives you incentive to try to go for the game either in what you would consider your most the most optimal route, or try to get everything in one single run, which I find just very fun to be encouraged by. Oh, we got some different colored Yoshis here. We never saw these guys. Well, maybe we will a little later. And now all the little Yoshis we were saving in all the castles have finally hatched. So peace can finally return to the Dinosaur Land. Time for the enemy cast call. Parabomb, Paragoomba, Fishing Lakitu, Lakitu, Spiny, Wiggler, Babom. Some of these guys we haven't seen before. Amazing Flying Hammer Brothers, Super Koopa, Jumping Piranha Plant, Chargin' Chuck, Volcano Lotus. Okay, so I was a little off. That thing's not called a Lava Lotus. Sumo Brother, Pokey, Monty Mole, Bullet Bill. I really like this, seeing all the enemies in these different environments. Rex, Mega Mole, Bonsai Bill. Dino Rhino, Dino Torch, Koopas. Also goes without saying, but this music, the credits and cast roll music is just so good. Spike Top, Swoopers, Buzzy Beetle, Blarg. Blurps, Porcupuffer, Urchin, Rip Van Fish, Torpedo Ted. That's another enemy we haven't seen yet. So we could try to go after those guys later. Boo Buddies, Fishing Boo, the Big Boo, Eries. That's all some ghostly enemies we saw. Dry Bones, Lil Sparky, Bony Beetle, Hothead, Flump, Flimp. Going for the castle enemies now. Fishbone, Ball and Chain, Grinder. Reznor. One of these guys we actually did manage to fight on our way to the end. Mecha Koopas. Oddly, Ninjas don't appear here. Morton, Lemmy, Iggy, Ludwig, Larry, Wendy, Roy, and Bowser. The end. Hey there, Luigi, you didn't get to do anything. But yeah, that was our first run-through of the game, and all things considered, it went very smoothly. Now, unfortunately, once you hit the ending screen here, there's not much you're able to do. It'll just stay on this screen until you reset the console. So with that said, our first run of the game is complete, but we are nowhere near done with this game yet. There are still all the hidden pathways and some more worlds for us to explore that we haven't seen yet. So how about we go ahead and do all that? Welcome to Super Mario World post-game. Just once more, we'll be hitting the one player again, and we're starting off where we left off, from where we saved after beating Larry. So yeah, we are back to the very start of our adventure now. Well, pretty much. So from this point, all we have to do in order to finish things up in this game is to go through every last level and clear all of the secret pathways, which will be able to enable us to access not only more levels, but some other interesting content and some other things that we didn't get to show off. So let's head all the way back to the very beginning of our adventure, as we have some very, very unfinished business. Now that I've gone through the entire game without using any of the Switch Palaces, we definitely need to return to Yoshi's Island. Because from this point onward, we're going after everything in this game. including what we can do at the Switch Palaces. That big yellow button has taunted me long enough. Luckily, there aren't any secret levels you need to do here in Yoshi's Island. Everything here just has a single pathway through each level that you need to take, so there aren't any secrets you need to go after. With that said, let's finally dive into the yellow Switch Palace. Just need to hit that P-switch there, spawning a lot of coins for you to get a ton of 1-ups. So, sadly, from this point onward, we are not going to be able to have access to all of the lives we built up over the course of the game, as reloading our save will make it so that we lose all of our lives. But that's okay, we should be able to build up enough lives by the end of our journey. By hitting the big switch there, the power of the switch you push will turn the dotted line yellow blocks into yellow exclamation marks. Your progress will also be saved. So by doing that, all throughout the levels in the game, all those dotted line blocks that we saw will have turned into blocks that we can now actually stand on or hit in order to get good stuff from, which can definitely make some things a lot more interesting, either giving you access to power-ups or having more platforms that you'd be able to stand on in order to make it easier for you to go through the levels. With that said, that's everything we can do in Yoshi's Island, so let's head back to the Donut Plains. So here, we definitely want to grab a feather from our Super Koopa friends, and let's fly. I've already seen basically everything that can be seen in this level, so all we need to do is get to the end. Ow. Okay, that was annoying. And we need to grab another one of those. Thank you. Right, so going for these levels again is going to be pretty interesting because... what am I trying to say here? There are obviously a lot of pathways we didn't get to see all throughout this game. It'll be nice to go over a lot of the other stuff you're able to do. So back here, want to be very careful. And what we gotta do here... so for this particular thing, it's a lot easier to get this secret if you hit the green Switch Palace before this point. I want to take out as many of these Koopas as I can. Okay, so we have Yoshi, though. We're able to fly up here really easily, grab that key, and just put in the keyhole. And by doing that, that unlocks a hidden level. So got a bit of a hint about this one before. The Donut Secret 1. So some of the secret levels will open up alternate pathways that can allow you to access certain other levels that you probably haven't seen before, and gives you alternate routes throughout the various worlds. So this is an alternate pathway we could have taken in order to get to the second castle. But with that said, let us head into the Donut Secret. It's one of the earliest water levels we could have gone to, and is also the earliest point in the game where we can run into Rip Van Fish. So this is going to be a pretty simple water area compared to the other areas we've been to. It's got a couple enemies here we have all seen before. There's the Rip Van Fish, Cheep Cheeps, and the Blurps. Let's grab that Fire Flower so that we have our feather in reserve. We don't really need to have a feather right now while we have Yoshi with us. So we head up this pipe. I believe that gets a hidden area here. And I believe this will enable us to use a power-up that we never actually got to see in our first run of the area. This is the Power Balloon. It will cause Mario to inflate like a character drawn from DeviantArt. And by using this, we're able to have some upward elevation all throughout this area, which can be good to grab some hidden items, like these dragon coins. And what can we find here? Oh, there's that 1-up. I think we can still grab that if we go down. Yeah, eventually the power balloon will run out. Oh, looks like we missed the 1-up, actually. That's disappointing. But yeah, that's an interesting power-up. It's seldom used throughout the game, but still interesting to get to see. And trust me, we'll be seeing a lot more use out of it at a later date, because there's a challenge coming up in this game that is going to use that power-up a great deal. I'm gonna abandon Yoshi here just so I can get this coin. And we should be pretty good for the rest of this level. It's got a P-switch there. If we hit that now, it creates a path of coins for us. Now, wow, how did I avoid that? Grab that one up. You can see here there's a thing here. And that actually released a key. I'm going to be going after every exit for the level, so we'll just grab that right now, as that opens up a secret pathway to the Donut's secret house. But we'll be heading back into this level, as there's still the main exit. So something that is something to note about this game is that every time you hit one of the exits in the levels, that will open up a special that actually causes a certain thing to happen. So every time you hit an exit on the title screen on your save file, it will actually show a number of all the different exits you have hit. So if you are very persistent on getting to the exits, you should be able to see your numbers go up. And I'll try to get every exit I can throughout this game. There's probably going to be some I miss, but for the most part, we're going to try to get everything. So how about this time, take you out first. We're going to grab this switch and actually carry it with us a bit farther along here. I really didn't want that to happen. Okay, we didn't miss the P-switch. Alright, I'm gonna swim over here. It's a little tricky when you're holding an item while you're swimming, because it does increase the amount of... it increases just how much you're able to move along a certain... it increases your speed when swimming, but it makes it so that you're a bit harder to control. But that is the secret exit for that area. And wait, that's the normal exit, actually. Just gives you a straight path to the Donut Ghost House, in case you don't want to go over to this level. But we're going to be heading back into Donut Plains 2 now, because this area does have a secret that we want to go after. This level has, I want to say, one of the most important secrets in the game, as there are certain areas that we weren't able to access throughout this run, and what am I trying to say here? All throughout our journey, we weren't able to see any of the other Switch Palaces on the map. That's because they are actually hidden all throughout the different worlds. And if you want to access the Switch Palaces, you need to go to a variety of different levels, and then try to find the secret exits that will lead you to them. So yeah, there is a hidden exit somewhere in this level. So I believe it's not there. It's very ironic that we have that green dotted line block there. So I believe we want to head into this pipe. Yes, and in this area, this is going to be interesting. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this with our current powers. Yeah. So we got this blue shell here, and there's this line of blocks that leads up here. There's nothing we can really see here that's going to be all that helpful. So, in order to finish this, we're going to need to grab Yoshi. But over here is one of the exits we can take for this level. That's not a special exit. It's just an alternate pathway to the main exit of this level. Okay, I do know we can grab Yoshi here in Donut Plains 1, so let's go and grab him. So yeah, in that level, if you're going to get these secret exits, you need Yoshi in order to do so. It can be a little tricky to get it otherwise. Shouldn't be much farther to the point where we grab Yoshi. Yep, he's right here. Ow, will you stop hitting me, buddy? So I suppose if you're, like, really good with your timing, you could also grab it if you have the cape feather, but this is the main way you're supposed to get to this secret. So now that we got Yoshi with us, we need to go through the majority of this level without getting hit and losing Yoshi. So that can be a little challenging. Yoshi is good at eating the enemies here, so you don't need to worry too much about his survivability. But that does make your hitbox a little different, which can make getting crushed a bit of an awkward situation for you. Alright, there's also a feather here, which is good. So we should have a pretty easy time of this area, provided we don't get any surprises here that cause us to lose our Yoshi. Ooh, we actually got a 1-up from that. So I don't know if that's based on the enemies that Yoshi eats. I believe that is just from our current score. So depending on the score that we reached, which eating enemies with Yoshi, that actually doesn't... Oh, I see. Eating enemies actually gives you coins. That is interesting. I didn't actually know that. I thought that affected your score. Let's bonk that guy. So we don't need him messing with us. Let's go over here, grab that blue shell, enabling Yoshi to fly. And then we can reach that secret pathway with the key for us. And by hitting that, we get the Green Switch Palace. Which, look at that! So this level, if we're gonna do this right, we need to get rid of Yoshi and knock the shell down there. And that should... It's able to hit enough enemies in order to get us a 1-up, which is nice. So we're able to do that. You don't want to fall down there because there's pretty much no reason you want to go down there. And by heading for this pipe, we're able to access the green switch. Man, that's a bit of an awkward angle that Mario and Yoshi are in. It's like Mario's riding side saddle. But yeah, by hitting that switch, now the green dotted line blocks will turn into green exclamation mark blocks. Which is very good. That gives us some more blocks that can be hit for power-ups, and also gives us some new platforms that we can stand on. Alright, so the next area we want to do, let's actually hop into the Donut Ghost House. For this particular secret, you want to have the cape feather for this. And I think you want to fly back, ow. That's unfortunate. I'm just going to quickly head back into Donut Plains 1 so we can do this. Oh yeah, we technically didn't get the main exit through this area, so we actually start off at the checkpoint. That's fine. Do I really need to collect Yoshi as we're doing this again? Yeah, we might as well. I feel bad leaving Yoshi behind. But, spoilers, we don't need to worry too much about getting Yoshi in certain levels after we do this. So if we're gonna do this, we need to run over here, and then we need to quickly rush over this way, fly up, and you access this special platform in the level that you couldn't access before. So yep, it's definitely a nice little secret that you'd only be able to get if you have the feather. And doing that gives you a lot of 1-ups from those blocks. And by going for that door, we find ourselves a new exit. Very nice. And doing that unlocks a new pathway to Top Secret Area. This is one of the most interesting sections of the game, as it just has some blocks here. So that block in the middle will give you it'll give you a Yoshi egg that will give you a free Yoshi, or if you already have Yoshi, it gives you a 1-up. And the other blocks here will give you cape feathers and fire flowers. I'm gonna grab one of those so that we just have a fire flower with a cape feather in reserve. And then whenever you want to leave, you just go to the sides there. So that is one of the best secrets in the game, giving you pretty much all the main power-ups that you can use throughout the levels, all in one convenient area. So anytime you need a power-up, you just need to go back to that level, and you're able to do it. Alright, so that is most of the secrets here in the Donut Plains, but in order to progress forward here, I want to take the Donut Secret House. This is an interesting level. Actually a bit concerned about how things are going to go here, because I haven't really done this level in a long time, and it can be a little confusing. This is going to be a very special level. It's got more of these boo buddies. If we're careful, we can avoid them like that. It's got a big boo here and a spring. Let's hit that, and I don't believe we need the spring for anything. Yeah, we should be good. Just need that to get past that guy. And then, oof, I don't like losing out on my feather. Alright, so we got that. Path of coins. There's that door there. There are 5 entrances to the Star World and Dinosaur Land. Find them all and you can travel between many different places. So that is definitely a good hint block that tells you about some interesting things here. So let's go for these doors here and see where they're... Well, that one leads back here. So that is a little unfortunate. Hey, buddy, could you leave me alone? I don't think there is any other use for that spring other than getting past the big boo. And let's head back here. Ow! Come on. These guys are being so frustrating to me. Alright, for the different areas we want to go to. So I want to grab this switch. And by hitting that, it should spawn some blocks there, enabling us to access this door. And we got a trail of coins here. Interesting. Gives us some extra coins. Is there anything else in this area we could do? There's a door there, and there's a door over here. So don't know which one of these we want to do. So we can go for this one. That warps us back here. Alright, let's hit that switch, and then... let's go for the blue door. And that takes us to an exit. Nice. Alright, now I believe that is actually the standard exit through this area. By hitting that, we now have access to this pipe. So how about before we go to the other thing we could do in that ghost house, I want to head to Donut Secret 2. This is one of the other levels that gives you access to some things that... it's just another one of the alternate pathways through the... Donut Plains. It also gives you a brief glimpse at things in the Valley of Bowser. It's kind of funny the amount of levels there are in this game that hint about the stuff that you're able to do in Valley of Bowser. I find that a nice little detail. Can we jump back up here and grab our Yoshi? It's nice that we were able to grab that Starman, as it can help take care of some of the enemies around here. And gives us some good points. Unfortunately, we weren't able to keep that. So this area is going to be a bit interesting. We have these muncher plants, but since we have Yoshi, we're able to get past them very easily. If we go up this pipe... oh, I remember this. So we hit that, and that gives us another pea balloon section. Sorry, Yoshi. I just love the look of small Mario when he has the pea balloon, just the way his cheeks puff up. Oh, man. Mario's got the diabetes. So yeah, it's an interesting little pea balloon section. Not really the most major thing we've seen. Take that. So while we're doing this level, also I like doing this. That's just always fun to do when you got a row of enemies you can just instantly take out and just get some extra lives from them. Ooh, we got enough points for a bonus game. What are we gonna do here? That looks like a good combo. Good combo, good combo. Yeah! Perfect score. Let's grab all the 1-ups. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 8 1-ups. Woo! That was very good. And by clearing that level, we have this pipe opened up, which gives us an alternate pathway to Donut Plains free. So it's not that major of a shortcut through the Donut Plains. In fact, it gives you more levels to go through compared to the normal pathway. But there are some interesting levels. I want to head back into the Donut Secret House because there is something else we're able to do here that we have not seen yet. So I'm trying to remember about the secret here because it's a little tricky to do. And I haven't done this particular secret in just so long, so... Let's move you over there. I can see that block there we just haven't been able to access yet. I think I know what to do with that, but we will think about it a bit later. Okay, this secret's gonna be interesting, because I don't recall how you go about it. Actually, I think I do know what you have to do. Hang on. So I want to grab the P-switch here, and we'll hit that to spawn those blocks there. And that enables us to use that vine to climb up to this area. Go for this door, and we have ourselves a mid-boss here. We are fighting the Big Boo. It's pretty much another version of the Big Boo that we have seen all throughout the game, only this time we can actually fight it. You want to shoot the blue blocks up to damage this thing, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this battle. You gotta be careful about the blue blocks, though, because there's only a limited supply of them, and if you're not careful, you could see yourself dropping through the pit below, which can be a little tricky. But 3 hits all it takes to beat that guy, and when you take him out, it opens up another pathway to the Star Road. So I'll definitely be showing off all these Star Road levels, but that will be for a bit later, as I want to dedicate a specific amount of time to doing all the Star World. So we'll be doing that a bit later, but with that we have cleared all of the different pathways in the Donut Plains. This area is now done, so let's head into the Vanilla Dome. Looking at the amount of time we have left in this session, at least for the amount of time I want to do... yeah, so we're gonna skip Vanilla Dome 1 for now. We're gonna hop into Vanilla Dome 2. Because there's something in here we're able to do that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Yeah, the main pathway you want to do here in the Vanilla Dome is you actually want to get the secret here before you attempt to do the secret in Vanilla Dome 1. And this is definitely a secret I particularly like, because it involves taking a very interesting pathway through this level that you probably wouldn't think to do. But as you can see there were all those brown blocks that are kind of blocking some access to other parts of the level. And let's grab that feather. It's very nice. I'm going to take out as many of these fishies as we can. want to do is go over this way. Trigger that guy to do that. And let's go over here. Thank you for that. And what we need to do is grab this P-switch. Normally you'd use that to open up that path, but what I want to do is carry this switch over to this section back here. It's kind of interesting that this level involves you backtracking in order to get to one of its secrets. Oh, I guess there was a switch over here he could have also used. Alright, I forgot about that, but that's okay. Just want to hit the switch in order to open up this pathway, as the switches are able to turn those blocks into coins. Grab the key, and you want to swim over here with it. Oh god, I just dropped it in the pit, didn't I? Oh, that's great. Just terrific. Okay, it respawns. That's okay. Ow! Okay, that was a very tight swim, so... yeah, it makes sense that I would get taken out there. Okay, let's try this again. And now that I know that we can actually go back this way without needing to grab the other switch... yeah, we should be good. You want to position yourself so that you are right here, because otherwise you'll just fall through. You also want to be careful not to get blocked by the other brown blocks. For this one, I'm actually going to drop down this side, because I think it gives a... yeah, that gives a better pathway to the keyhole. So by doing that secret exit that way, you're able to access the Red Switch Palace. Alright, now this area is going to be interesting. Alright, so let's hit that, and want to jump up here, and just let the rainbow shell take out all these enemies. And by doing that, we're able to get a few 1-ups, and over here, we hit the red switch. So that'll turn all the red dotted lines into blocks that we can now walk on, get power-ups from. It's all very good. Very good indeed. But with that said, I think that's where we are going to stop this session for the time being. A little exhausted right now, and just glad that things have been pretty stable, all things considered, with this session compared to some of the other ones I was doing before. But that was because of network issues, so... at the very least, we were able to get a good chunk of progress done in clearing up all the secret levels. We were able to get through the main run of this game, which is very good. So we'll be starting off a lot of different things as we progress onward, showing off as many of the other secrets in this game as we can. So until next time, have a good day, and take care.